Hello everybody, my name is Sanya and I am a part of a small yet very efficient team within the Energy Technologies and Industrial Application Division within the Department of Energy of UNIDO. Today we would like to present two publications we are especially proud of. Our Small Hydropower Technical Guidelines and World Small Hydropower Development Report. Since both documents are very rich in content and in number of pages, we decided to do a little recap from our technical guidelines brochure and an executive summary of the development report. So let's get started. Although it has been said many times throughout this event, let's repeat. UNIDO is a specialized agency under the United Nations system aiming to promote globally inclusive and sustainable industrial development, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the related Sustainable Development Goals, which frame United Nations efforts towards sustainable development. International Network on Small Hydropower, INSHP, is an international coordinating and promoting organization for the global development of small hydropower, which is based on voluntary participation of regional, sub-regional, and national focal points, relevant institutions, utilities, and companies, and has social benefit as its major objective. INSHP aims at the promotion of global small hydropower development through triangle, technical, and economic cooperation among developing countries, developed countries, and international organizations in order to supply rural areas in developing countries with an environmentally sound, affordable, and adequate energy solution. So their contributions are quite complementary to UNIDO mandate. Small hydropower technical guidelines. What are they? Why are they important? And what will they do? UNIDO, in cooperation with INSHP, through global expert cooperation based on successful experiences, decided to develop the Small Hydropower Technical Guidelines, shortened TGs, to meet the demand coming from member states. TGs address the current limitations of the regulations applied to the technical guidelines for small hydropower plants by applying the expertise and best practices from across the globe. The intention behind TGs is for countries to utilize those guidelines to support their current policy, technology, and ecosystems. Countries that have limited institutional and technical capacities will be able to enhance their knowledge in developing small hydropower plants, thereby attracting more investment, while at the same time encouraging favorable policies and therefore subsequently assisting in economic development at the national level. TGs are a valuable asset for all the countries, especially in sharing the technical know-how and best practices between countries that have limited technical capacities. TGs are the result of the collaborative efforts between UNIDO and INSHP. About 80 international experts and 40 international agencies were involved in the preparation and peer review of the document. They provided concrete comments and suggestions to make TGs professional and applicable. Small hydropower development is a systematic engineering practice and requires technical support of multiple disciplines in the stages of site selection planning, pre-feasibility study, feasibility study, construction, installation, operation, and management. TGs can be taken as principle and basis for planning, designing, construction, and management of small hydropower plants up to 30 megawatts. Terms and definitions specify the professional technical terms and definitions commonly used for small hydropower plants. Design guidelines provide guidelines for basic requirements, methodology, and procedure in terms of site selection, hydrology, geology, project layout, configurations, energy calculations, hydraulics, electromechanical equipment selection, construction, project cost estimates, economic appraisal, financing, social and environmental assessments, with the ultimate goal of achieving the best design solutions. UNIDO's guidelines specify the technical requirements on small hydropower turbines, generators, hydro turbines, governing systems, excitation systems, main valves, as well as monitoring, control, protection, and DC power supply systems. The construction guidelines can be used as the guidance technical document for the construction of small hydropower projects. Management guidelines provide technical guidelines for the management, operation, maintenance, technical renovation, and project acceptance of small hydropower projects. Use of TGs is highly recommended for training, education, and practice in small hydropower development. At the same time, suggestions and recommendations for possible TGs updates are very welcomed. World Small Hydropower Development Report 2019. For the third time, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization and the International Center on Small Hydropower, as the global small hydropower knowledge leaders, are continuing their partnership for the new edition of the report, the World Small Hydropower Development Report, which contains 20 regional and 166 country chapters. The report is the result of an enormous collaborative effort between UNIDO and ICSHP and over 230 local and regional small hydropower experts, engineers, academics, and governmental officials from across the globe. The current edition of the report aims not only to provide an update, but also to greatly expand on the first two editions by providing improvements in data accuracy with enhanced analysis and a more comprehensive overview of the policy landscapes compiled from a large number of countries. In order to more effectively promote small hydropower as a renewable and rural energy solution, and overcoming existing barriers, it is essential to identify the development status of the technology in different regions of the world and engage stakeholders to share existing information and accumulated experiences. Prior to the first edition of the report, it was clear that a comprehensive reference publication for decision makers, stakeholders, and potential investors was needed to more effectively promote small hydropower as a sustainable, renewable energy solution and to overcome the existing barriers to the spread of technology. So far, it is the only report dedicated to the dissemination of an in-depth information on small hydropower development. According to the report, the global installed small hydropower capacity for plants up to 10 megawatts is estimated at 78 gigawatt, indicating an increase of approximately 10% compared to data from 2013 report and 4.7% since 2016 report. Furthermore, since the 2013 report discovered small hydropower potential has increased by a notable 30%. The great increase in installed small hydropower capacity is reported for Asia and Europe with 5.2% each. The Americas have experienced a slight decrease, while in Oceania the decrease is due to updates and natural catastrophes. Africa experienced only 1.5% increase compared to the previous edition of the report. Despite the appeal and benefits of small hydropower solutions, much of the world's small hydropower potential remains untapped, around 66%. Small hydropower represents approximately 1.5% of the world's total electricity installed capacity, 4.5% of the total renewable energy capacity, and 7.5% of the total hydropower capacity, below 10 megawatts. Asia continues to have the largest installed capacity and potential for small hydropower up to 10 megawatts. Europe has the highest percentage of small hydropower development, with Western Europe having 85% of its potential already developed, followed by Eastern Asia with 61% developed. In the Americas, most of the small hydropower is concentrated in the Northern America and South American regions. China continues to dominate the global small hydropower landscape, with 54% of the world's total installed capacity and approximately 28% of the world's total small hydropower potential. China has more than 4 times the small hydropower installed capacity of Italy, Japan, Norway, and United States of America combined. Together, the top 5 countries, China, US, Japan, Italy, Norway, and Turkey, account for 67% of the world's total installed capacity of small hydropower. Case studies. Case studies section is the new edition of the World Small Hydropower Development Report 2019. It is comprised of 18 case studies of successful small hydropower implementation in a range of communities. The case studies add a more detailed, practical perspective on the transformative potential of small hydropower and the best practices. Case studies give specific examples of communities that are using small hydropower for productive purposes to meet their needs and improve quality of life. The purpose of this new section is to provide an easy access to the learnings drawn from such experiences, thus forming a knowledge base that can benefit communities, decision makers, and developers elsewhere. Some of successful examples featured in our case studies section are Sarhad Rural Support Program about small hydropower in Pakistan, generation of electricity to increase energy access in tea growing areas by Kenya Tea Development Agency, 5.8 megawatt Gura small hydropower project in central Kenya, 2 small hydropower plants in north-central Nicaragua, Mutwanga small hydropower plant in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Xinghan County, Hubei Province in China is also a very good example. These cases demonstrate how reliable access to electricity provided by small hydropower revolutionizes daily life in communities worldwide, particularly in rural areas, creating employment opportunities, stimulating economic development, strengthening the capacity of existing infrastructure and local institutions. So this was it. We hope it wasn't too long and you found it interesting. These publications are our small contribution to supporting the creation of sustainable energy systems, as energy is essential to overall development and also to our quality of life. We invite you to look at our full versions of publications at the UNIDO webpage if you're further interested in exploring this topic. Thank you very much for your attention and time.